Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for March 3rd through 9th. This week I read one book, I watched 2 movies, I watched 2 shows, and I listened to 1 book. First of all, where in the world am I? In our last episode I was in Venice, and the episode before that I was in the UK, and today I am technically in the UK, but in a very different part of it because I am on the island of Jersey. This is a relatively small channel island about 14 miles off the coast of France. In fact, yesterday we went on a tour of a fortress off to the east coast of the island, and we were actually able to see France from where we were standing. It's lovely here. We're only spending a few days here, and then tomorrow we actually take a ferry to a much smaller island until Friday, and then after that we take another couple ferries back to France. As I've mentioned several times before, I have no idea how much of me you can see. I just know that you've got at least an inch above my head, but I never know how far down this is. So if at any point you're looking at my arms and going, what is wrong with you? Something is biting me here and I don't know what it is, but all of those red splotches, yes, they're as itchy as they look. As for the book I finished this week, that's Husband Material. This is the follow-up to Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and I very much enjoyed getting together with these characters again because this whole cast of characters is just delightful and hilarious and heartfelt and wonderful. Our point of view character is Lucian, or Luke, and his boyfriend is Oliver, and we're just basically following him on his adventures through ridiculous situations such as his best friend is getting married, so he is the maid of honor for her, and then also there's other weddings he ends up having to attend because of reasons, and then just their relationship in general, the foibles that happen with that. I really enjoy every single scene that happens with Luke's co-workers because they're all mad and the banter is just ridiculous, and I absolutely adore all of the dynamics. There are several times reading this book in various cafes in Venice or whatever where I just started laughing and I would have to explain myself. I have no idea if there's a sequel to this one in the works, but I would definitely read it. As for the movies we watched this week, first we rewatched Spider-Man Far From Home simply because part of it does take place in Venice. I've said it before, I'll say it probably many more times, but we love watching movies that are set in places that we are or where we're about to be or where we just were. And this one is fun not only because it takes place in Venice and we were in Venice for my first time, Chad has actually been before, but I've actually been to almost every place mentioned in this movie with the exception of the small town of the Netherlands, although I have been to the Netherlands, and New York itself because I've not been there. It does mention Jersey, and technically I've been in the airport in Jersey, so I'm counting it. I believe it also talks about Paris, maybe London as well, because that makes sense. And then maybe also Berlin. I feel like they talked about Berlin and I've also been there. Chad just woke up to tell me that I should differentiate and say that when I'm talking about Jersey, when it relates to this movie, I'm talking about New Jersey, whereas right now I'm on the island of Jersey, and those are 2 different places and I've been to both of them. In any case, it's a Spider-Man movie, it's fun. I need to do kind of a rewatch of all of the Marvel things, except for I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel things, especially a lot of the TV shows, because there's too much and I just can't anymore, but maybe a rewatch of just the movies is something I want to do in the future. Funnily enough, the other movie we watched this week also features a Spider-Man, sort of, and that's Spaceman. This one is a serious movie about Adam Sandler being on a spaceship by himself for like 6 months for reasons that didn't make much sense, and Chad spent a lot of time being like, why is this a manned mission? I don't know. Hopefully they'll explain it at some point. And I honestly can't tell you if they did explain it at some point because I fell asleep. I understand why this is shot in a way where it is incredibly slow-paced, because that's what it would feel like to be on a spaceship by yourself for that long, so I get that. But it didn't work for me watching it at night and then just falling asleep. I wanted to stay awake, I wanted to know what happened, but if I'm remembering what happened at the end, it's not really a satisfying resolution, although I don't know if I actually remember. I might have just dreamed what happened at the end, so here we are. If you've never heard anything about it, essentially Adam Sandler is on the spaceship, it's been 6 months, there's things going on back home that he doesn't really know about but he would like to know about, and then all of a sudden there's this big spider that starts talking to him in the ship, and he's trying to figure out if it's real, if it's not, who knows, it talks to him. Interesting times. I just thought it was really funny that we ended up accidentally watching 2 movies that have to do with Spider-Men, if you will. On the ferry from Portsmouth to Jersey, I actually watched the first 4 episodes of Ratched. I actually downloaded all of the episodes of this season because I figured that I would need something to do on the 8-hour ferry. And once I finished both of my books for this week, I decided I could actually get into this. I really enjoy this. I've never read or watched the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I feel like Nurse Ratched is such a character that people know about outside of having watched it. It's like such a pop culture name that I kind of thought I knew what I might be getting myself into, kind of an Angel of Mercy situation. And that's actually the name of a 2-parter episode in the first 4 episodes I watched, so I was not incorrect. This one is about this woman who is a nurse by trade. She was a nurse in one of the wars and she is trying to get a job at this particular institution, and things go from there. It is very stylized. It is set in what I believe is the 1950s. Yeah, there's a lot of deaths. There's a lot of talking about what's happening to people who have been institutionalized who probably shouldn't have been, because it's for things that are definitely not mental conditions. And so far I'm enjoying it. I did figure out why she wanted to be in this particular institute before that was revealed in the 2nd episode, so I felt kind of clever, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the latter half of the season. As for the other show we watched, as I've probably told you way too many times, we finished Taskmaster as much as we could for the UK series, so we did move on to the new 1st season of the New Zealand version. And it's weird because it's very much the same, but the differences are so there that you can't not see them. Like, it's obviously it's in a completely different location, but they've set it up to look as close to the UK version as possible. And then it's just not the original Taskmaster and the original Taskmaster's assistant. It's 2 other people, obviously. And that throws me off every time, but I feel like they're doing the best that they can. This continues to be a fun format where people are just bantering and trying to figure out how to do these things. The people in this particular cast I'm finding very amusing. And I think that offsets my blanket dislike for the fact that it's so close to being the real thing, if you will, but not quite. Which is very funny because one of the prize tasks is bringing in the thing the Taskmaster would least like to see, and one of the people brought in a book of quotes of things she assumed people would say about the first season, such as like, it's not as good as the UK version. I feel like it is, but if you are a huge fan of the particular recurring people on the first seasons, or rather the UK seasons, then you're gonna feel it's slightly different enough that it's just a little bit off-putting. It's the same thing as when like Greg grew a beard in like season 5 or something like that, and that was off-putting for a while, but eventually we're going to get used to it. The book I listened to this week is Promise Boys. This one is particularly interesting to listen to as an audiobook because it is a full cast recording and there are a lot of different points of views that you get little snippets from. What happens in this book is there is a murder at an all-boys school and they're trying to figure out who did it, and there are 3 main suspects and we get all of their points of view, and they eventually come together to try to figure out what went on because they know it wasn't them. This one talks about class and privilege and different things that people face at this young age, but then it really talks about some sweet things like having a crush on a girl and wanting to see if you can start dating her, or different things that people have to go through and how certain people can abuse their power. It was very much interesting to look at this and see how many people were like, this very beloved member of staff was murdered and that's terrible because he was such a great guy and he was doing such great things for all these people, but then you see how he was actually interacting with the student body and you know that that's not completely accurate. This one did have a couple of pacing issues for me, but overall I very much enjoyed my time with it. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down in the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. Or over here, depending on if your YouTube has changed in the way that mine has on desktop, and now everything's over here, and I don't like it because literally everybody's video is like, stuff is down here, and now they're like, let's move it over here. I don't know if it's changed for you on your desktop. It has changed on mine, it hasn't changed on Chad's, and that's weird, and I kind of want them to roll it back, but who knows. Where was I in my outro? Nobody actually listens to this outro, do they? You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!